PS3 PlayStation Store remains active in 2026, even after many years of thinking it was going to shut down for good. It's kind of becoming this constant thing. Whenever a new year arrives, you're just almost thanking the heavens because you just come to realize that it's survived another year. If for some reason you've been sleeping for the past 15 years or something, you just randomly woke up one day recently, you'd have no idea that the PlayStation 3 generation was over. You just have to, or I don't know if that makes any damn sense. So why not take another look at the PS3 PlayStation Store again? To see if it's different, to see if anything has changed since the last year that I looked at. I haven't been on this recently, to be honest with you. It's been a while. And it's not just going to be the current PS3 store that we have now. I'm going to be taking a look again at the old PlayStation 3 store. Because absolutely, there is a way that we can get access to that. And if I remember what it looked like last year, then it's going to be awesome. So at this point, seems like one of the most interesting things about the PS3 store is that you have to really find out if it's even functioning right. Because that's a very... The current PlayStation 3 store is not like the greatest thing we've ever seen. In fact, it's probably more towards the other end of that. The last time I used this, I remember it being like... It's almost frustrating to use sometimes because it doesn't really work the best. Sometimes I think it's my internet, and I don't think it is. I was even testing that last time I was using it. I was just like, okay, well, why is my internet fine, but this store is not very good? It's just one of those things, really, where you have to really go into it and understand what you're getting yourself into. Because it is not going to be the greatest experience when you use it. However, just the fact that it is still alive is probably good enough. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's not even just the way it functions either. Sometimes, like... so many different things happen for the most part. Like sometimes, I don't know if I'm like delusional or something, but I swear some of the categories are changing. It's kind of like trippy almost to look at. You're almost freaking out as you're watching things happen because you were just on it whenever it was. And then maybe a couple months later, you go on it again, or maybe you go on it consistently and then things are different with it. And it's like, wait a minute. The only thing more random than the PS3 store at this point would be if a grizzly bear ran into your house and stole the ceiling fan out of your bathroom. Because it seems like every time you go on this thing, it's changing. Not for the better, just sometimes maybe even for the worse. Or worst. I swear as well, one time I was on it, I think it was in the summer or something, or maybe even before that. I was on it, and I could have sworn again that it was functioning a lot better. Alright, so shut the hell up and let's get to the actual video. I'm going to be taking a look at the current PS3 store again, and I'm going to be setting up the process. It's not very long or anything like that, of just how to get on the old store again. The old one is way better. Not even just the way it looks, the way it functions is almost completely, not even in the same sense, same whatever the hell similar is of how the current one functions and looks. Like it's not even close. So it's worth checking that out once again. Alright, so I just took a brief browse of the current PlayStation 3 store. I'm on it right now just because I want to, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say to that. I'm on it right now just to see like what's going on with it. Is it like working okay? And it doesn't seem like it is at all. In fact, it might be way worse than the last time I used it. Like I was saying, whenever that was, I did use this at one point last year, and I swear it was functioning a lot better than it normally did. It just really comes down to that, like, obviously this is something Sony doesn't care about anymore, so it's not going to be anything incredible. Obviously, it's like there's some things where even some categories repeat. There's like multiple of best of 2K, best of Sonic. The categories I remember not seeing before were, I think, the ones where it said like best of games with style. I don't even think there was this many categories. Like there may have only been 4 or 5, and now there's almost like 10 or more. Best of 1999, best of 29.99, and maybe even best of epic adventures. That's a very specific category. Best of timeless heroes, and it has Altair on it. Best of well, I can't read. Best of 9.99. But then when you go into it, it doesn't have things that are 9.99. Like I don't live in the United States, so it's definitely something where that might be something related to this. This is like prices where I live or something, but it's like, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me and tell me that it's 9.99, then it's not. It's just like, what the hell are you doing? There's only like one thing maybe that is. There's not even that many here. It's just, yeah, a couple of rows and then, or maybe, yeah, no, it loaded. Sometimes this takes forever to load too, so you have to wait a bit. I think the problem with the current PlayStation 3 store is too, is that like, there's not even really much going on inside of it. Like I like simplicity as much as the next guy. But I remember being on the old one last year and I remember like not wanting to get off of it because there was so many categories to browse. There was like I actually forget. There was a lot of categories that you could look at, and then they're actually interesting though. It's not like they just throw random categories out there and you're like, what the hell is this for? It's just actually relevant. Here's also something I thought was interesting. I'm not sure if some of the titles for some games are accurate or just the way they should be, because the LA Noire Complete Edition? I'm Ron Burgundy? This is a category where it says all games is only like, unless that's an inaccurate number, it might be. There's not that many PS3 games, but there's 1 million PS Vita games. Or maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to like, or what? I'm trying to like scroll through this and do this at the same time, but just from like browsing through this for a little bit, this is not, this store's bad. Navigating through the PS3, the current PS3 store is kind of a nightmare because at times it takes a long time to load. Not only that, just scrolling from game to game is kind of a nightmare. I think my internet is not that terrible. I mean, it's not probably the greatest internet I've ever seen. I mean, I would hope it isn't. Some of the pricing's a bit strange too because, well, yeah, sometimes certain games or whatever don't really seem like they're that badly priced. It's maybe a bit more than it would be on eBay or something. That's kind of just basically what, to sum up the current PS3 store, it's just random as hell. It's scary. It's very weird. You don't know what the hell you're going to get yourself into every time you go on it. It might function good some days. It might function like absolute cat urine some days. And unfortunately, at this point in time that I was just browsing through it, it was absolutely the latter part of that. And it's very, very smelly. I guess that's kind of where we are right now. It is 2026. I remember, I don't remember what year it was, but a couple of years ago, they were like threatening to take away the store or shut it down or whatever. But it's still going. It is absolutely still alive, and you can still get things on it, play them, and do whatever you want with them, I guess, but it's just the fact that it's still alive is awesome. All right, whatever I'm going to talk about next, we'll start. Hello. Well, the last time I did this, it was probably almost exactly a calendar year ago. I have no idea if this is going to be the exact same as it looked last year. So with the old PlayStation 3 store, this was, I think, the 2nd generation one. So to set this up, it's actually quite simple. If you have a jailbroken PlayStation 3, you should see the option in Network for custom firmware tools. And inside of that, you should just have to go down to QA tools. And then, for one, you can actually check to see if this is enabled. I think this has to be for this to work. Okay, so once that's done, you should see an option right under that for enable QA flags, which you just have to basically press a bunch of buttons in the network settings. And then once you actually do that, you should see an option for debug. It's like hard to press all these at once because it's just the weirdest combination. The debug settings option will appear right under the network settings once you do press those buttons. And inside of that list, you should see an option for PlayStation Store add clock. I set this to 10/23/2012, so October 23rd in the year 2012. I think may have been around the time they changed it because it was a year before the PS4. And I think that's when they made it like that terrible version now. So once you set that, you just have to reboot the system. And then once that is done, you should just be able to go into this PlayStation Store, and it should be the way better version of the PlayStation 3 Store. Is this the same one that I was, because when I used this last year, this is not what it looked like. The branding and everything wasn't loading. It was just basically the PlayStation buttons. Yeah, what? The background and everything is actually showing up too. It was just nothing customized like that from what I remember. All you saw was like the main thing, yeah, where it said PS3 games, and then even the two options below it or whatever wouldn't even load. Did I do something wrong? I'm starting to think I didn't do the right thing or something last time, because this is not even close to what it looked like last time. It was like the same layout and everything. It just wasn't loading the artwork. I'm gonna have to find that. I'm gonna have to look into that, what I did, because I swear this is different. Oh my Jesus, this is very, very nice. This is automatically, without even thinking about it actually, a way better version of what we have now. Yeah, this does make sense, because Assassin's Creed 3 was probably coming out right around this time. Assassin's Creed 1, 7.7 gigabytes for 20 bucks. Sorry. Normally PlayStation, oh yeah, this is just the normal version of Brotherhood, and it's 27 bucks too. You could probably walk into a retro game store and get that for like $5 to $10. So it's not even just the full game. There's themes, there's demos, there's avatars, there's options for this. There's like trailers. Remember that? Remember I used to be able to download E3 trailers and everything? That was awesome. Oh, hold on. Not every game you can buy. Battlefield 3 is an absolute death pit. There's nothing here. Nothing. Battlefield Bad Company 2 is... There's no actual full game here, but there is other things like videos and stuff. Themes and everything too. Alright, so some games you can actually get the full game. $13.49. See, that's like more reasonable, I guess, rather than almost $30. All I know is after seeing what I'm seeing right now, man, there's a lot of games on this. I probably refuse to go back to the new one. The new one is, well, for one, it functions way worse. This one is actually smooth. Just backing out of what you're in and going to a new screen and everything. It's just a quick movement. Nothing taking forever, no lagginess. Everything is moving really nice right now. This is so much better. There's actually quite a few. I looked at this last year. There was, I think, a good amount of demos, maybe. Or maybe I'm wrong. No, there is. You can get demos for free on this, so I don't know if that would be interesting to a lot of people, but it's actually, I think it is kind of. Jesus, yeah, there is a lot. That was only from A to C. There might be like hundreds, or not that much. And I think I'm probably going to download one just to see if they're playable, but I am almost positive you can still download like anything on this and use it. There are PS Vita games on this even, and are those free? No. No way. Oh god, no. Oh, absolutely not, actually. This one is $46.99. Wow, the PS Vita games are almost more than the actual PlayStation 3 ones. I think you can get, yeah, you can. PSP games are also on this. How much are these? Okay. I don't even know how much PSP games are if they're like in a store or something, so I'm assuming they're not 50 bucks. The Vita, I don't know, Vita stuff is expensive right now either. Maybe that's like not that bad, but they even have some of the classics in this. They have Infamous 2 even. There is, oh damn it, there's no, or technically yes, you can get the Infamous collection, which includes 1, 2, and the Festival of Blood. Oh, there's even like a graphic for this. Oh my god. In 2026, the best PlayStation 3 store is the old one. So just to see if things were still working, because, or just to see if you could still get things on the store. I downloaded a demo just to see if it would work. For some reason, they only have the French version of the MW2 demo. Where the hell's the English one? There's probably no chance in hell I was going to actually buy something on this, because I think most of the games that I saw that were actually reasonably priced, I either own or just don't want to buy. Demos are actually kind of fun to play. They might not be obviously as insane or good as the full game or something, but I remember playing some demos back in the day and they were still unbelievably fun. That's something I miss. I think some games I didn't even get the full version of the game. I just played the demo over and over again just because I couldn't afford the game or something, but it was just one of those things. That's kind of maybe why I kind of feel a certain way about them, just because I just feel a different way than some people who may not have been around when demos were consistently coming out, but I like a good demo. It takes a bit to download them sometimes. Some of them aren't that large though, like the MW2 one maybe took 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to download, so that's not that bad. The fact that it's not even like the fact that, or kind of, it is the fact that it is still active, but the fact that you can also still get things on it if you want is very nice. Remember when they used to release trailers for games that were coming out or something, even like an E3 trailer? I always thought that was really cool because I don't know why. I just always liked doing it. I always liked downloading the trailers for whatever game was coming out or something. I can't believe, or maybe, I don't know why I'm even talking about half the time, but in 2026, the PlayStation 3 Store is alive. I like that. I really do. I like anything that remains from this era. I also like the fact you can still get games, items, anything on this. That's cool. I would really hope it remains. What's the damn deal? Zero problem if the PS3 Store remains forever. I just don't see the negative in that. I don't see how Sony could take that and just be like, you know, I mean, they can do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell Sony what to do. But hey, Sony, burn in hell on it. Don't ever shut down this store. All right? Please. I'm begging you. I don't know. Both stores are definitely still active. The old one is awesome. The old PlayStation 3 Store, especially the fact that it's different now. I don't know how that happened. I swear I was changing it to specific dates too that I did last year, and everything seems better. It functions so much better than the new one. It's kind of insane. And not only does it function better, it looks way better. I think that's actually maybe one of the coolest things that I can think of right now. I mean, there's many, but out of the fact, if you have a hacked PS3, you can still get access to the old PS3 Store, and that is simply awesome. It really is. I guess there's nothing else to say now but to wrap it up, because everything has, I think, been said. I like the fact that this is something you can revisit, and it's still going. It's not gone. It's like, some people might not even know. I've seen sometimes people will say stuff on the internet and stuff, if you're reading a thread, or even like YouTube comments or something, some people might not even know that certain things are still around. Hearing things like that, or seeing things like that, that maybe you just assumed, obviously, since it's almost 20 years, that even the store is still going. You might not know, I don't know. And that's simply okay. And if you go on it, and you see that everything is still going, it's like, that's kind of the point I was trying to make earlier when I was saying if you've been sleeping for 15 years or something, and then you turn on the PS3 again, you see the store, and then I guess that made no damn sense, by the way. I don't know why I said that. Maybe I'll edit it out. Is that everything? Probably. Have a nice night.